Hi, I'm Ty Knight for TK24 Sports, and on today's show, we're talking about the none other, of course, the breaking news of the Super League. Now, this could either be good or it's going to be bad. Stick with me right now. It's not going to be long, but it's going to be really informative. You ready? Here we go. Now, as of yesterday, as we know, it dropped like a bombshell. The Super League is here. Now, did it really drop yesterday, or did it drop 10 plus years ago? I think it was 10 plus years ago, but the bombshell is, you've seen it coming, you've been told it's coming, and when it drops, you act all surprised and act all scared, like, oh my God, this is the end of football. No, it's not the end of football. It's just a different revenue of football and a different avenue of football. Now, this fight is with UEFA, nothing else. Nothing else. These clubs are smart. I don't think they're smart. They're bloody smart. Here we go. These clubs, these big, massive clubs, know they have the power over UEFA now. UEFA was supposed to today, because it's Monday, announce the revamp of the Champions League. I think it was for the 24-25 season. They have just literally obliterated UEFA's plans, and the timing cannot have come better. They're telling UEFA, we as 11 of the 15, there's going to be 3 more teams coming into this as family members, will no longer participate in your competition. Not the domestic league competitions, just UEFA's competitions. So why aren't people really seeing that? Why are people jumping up and down saying this is bad, this is, is quite bad, we'll get into why it's bad as well. But this is really bad. No, it's bad for UEFA. You guys are jumping up and down protecting UEFA. These clubs have had enough of UEFA. They had enough of the financial fair play. They were sick and tired of all the rules that UEFA are doing. They were sick and tired of the amount of money they saw UEFA having and how much power they actually had over these European clubs. So the clubs have said, you know what, enough's enough. We're going to form our own Super League and we can create our own rules. We can have more of the pie from the money that comes in rather than go to UEFA. There's so much more to go for the Super League to actually form. So how are they going to get their referees? Where are the referees actually licensed under UEFA and FIFA? Okay? So first of all, they've got to have that form of a union body. Then they've got to form a union body for the referees. Then they've got to form a union body for the clubs. Then they've got to form a union body for the players, because each time they enter a competition, there's a union body for it. So it's much harder than you think. But, boom. There you go, there's the first punch. Okay? So UEFA now know the Champions League is actually under threat, more so than ever before, because they didn't see this coming. They may have heard about it, but UEFA must have thought, this ain't really going to happen. You guys are talking. There's no, I can see a bit of smoke, but there's no fire. Now the fire's been lit, and now you can see the smoke way around the world. But yet here you guys go, this is bad for football. This is no different than a union getting together and fighting for their rights, as like what these clubs are doing. But the sickening thing about it is these guys can never get relegated from this prospective league that they want to form. And I get why they're doing it, because they're thinking, well, we're the biggest show on the planet. So when it comes to the Champions League, they're actually tuning to watch us. And while you're watching us, yeah, we get a bit of money, which is cool. I mean, they get a lot of money, but we can get more money because we're the main attraction. Everyone else is just the undercard. So was everyone upset when the Premier League formed and broke away and had its own league? Because that's what the Premier League is. Its own league. It's not part of the FA. The Premier League is its own entity. The Football Association is its own entity. Do you know that? I bet most of you didn't even know that. But anyway, let's focus on this. I've already covered. They need referees, okay? They're going to need a governing body. They're going to need so much more to make this come to light. But the starting point has been made. We, as the 11,000 members, will start the Super League, which consequently means we just won't participate in UEFA's competition. They can still form and play in their domestic leagues. It's true, they can. Now, here it is. If the Super League teams and the governing people decide to say, you know what, Premier League, we're going to give you a slice of our pie because we're still going to benefit, but we want you to benefit. That money will still trickle down a little bit. But remember one thing, the Premier League money trickles down into the leagues. The European competitions don't trickle down into the leagues. So why is everyone going up in arms for? Saying they're greedy. It's no different than any other company being greedy, maximizing profits just to make more money. Wouldn't you do the same? Let's say you've got your business, right? And there's 15 of you that's really good at what you do. But you're saying, do you know what I mean? We can make more money if we just band together and we form our own sort of company so we can maximize more profit. If you as the owner, are you going to tell me right now, I'm being serious, and be serious to yourself, all emotions away, are you going to tell me right now you'll turn around and say no to that? You can make more money still doing the job that you're doing, just forming up with, I don't know, your rivals and coming together and saying, we can make a killing and we can still be profitable. We'll lose a little bit of cred, but sooner or later it will come round and people will see the bigger picture and we'll thrive even more. Are you really telling me you as a business owner of that company will turn that opportunity down? And then also on top of that, you can recruit the best talent for your business. You can turn it down. So yes, you're going to have to pay more. You're going to go through some hardship for the first maybe 1 year, 2 years, free, but you're still going to get loads more money than you was before. And you're going to turn it down. No, you're not. Let's be real. No, you're not. And don't say football is different, because football is still a business. Because while we play the game, some of the reasons why, when you think of some of the players, yes, they love playing the game, but most of them, when they say, I was able to help my family. So they go into it knowing they're good at what they do, they can make a good living if they get to the top, and they can support their family for generations to come if they're really good and smart with their money at the same time. Again, I'm not saying this is good, but sometimes when we hear news like this, we've got to take a step back. We've got to look at what's being said and then say to ourselves, is this actually good or is it bad? I mean, I can imagine these guys, instead of saying Hell Hydra, they're saying Hell Super League around a big rounded table. It's no different than when Sky Sports were dominating and having the Champions League, and then they had the Premier League. They didn't do the FA Cup because they saw that as worthless. They didn't do the Carabao Cup because they saw that as worthless. So Sky Sports wanted to dominate all of those. And then the British government decided to say, you can't monopolise on that, you've got to share the wealth. So they did, right? So then BT bought up loads of rights, and then Amazon's come into play as well. So it's no different than what we've seen before. Did we really fight and cry and march and go on social media as what we're doing now when Sky had all the dominance? No, I don't remember that. Did we cry and march and, descend upon, let's say, I don't know, Parliament and say the Premier League should never be formed? It's out of order what they're doing to the FA. No, not at all. Why? Because people had their hands out and everyone's getting the bag. This is no different, people. But what is really sad, I would have said, no, I kind of like this. If you guys are going to start it, cool. If you don't finish in a certain place, you're bombed out. The next people have a try and so forth and so forth. Pretty much like the Champions League, but a bit revamped and so forth. You say, I kind of like that. But because it's a closed shop that these guys can never get relegated from it, that's the part that bugs me the most. That's the part. So there can be no relegation. And most of these owners are, pretty much foreign owners. They're not from the country of where the club is from. So if you think of Arsenal, you think of United, you think of Chelsea, City, Liverpool. It's Joe Lewis. He's English. I'm sure he's English. Anyway, my point is this. These guys are going to get even richer. And the damning thing about it is if your club is going to join this, is your club actually then going to put more money into it and buy good players to say they are part of a Super League? I, for one, I'm an Arsenal fan, as you may know. Our problem with Stan Kroenke has been he's never put money into his own pocket. Now, was this always his master plan? This is why he bought Usmanov out, because he saw what was about to happen and he knew, do you know what, if we can do this, like this, rustle some money together, I can pull so much money out. Pretty much like what he does in his American franchise. The other scary part of this, now this is why I'm saying there could be good and there's going to be bad. So I've got to be impartial and I've got to sit on the fence on this. What's now going to stop these owners shipping these teams out of the city where they've had a foundation for so long and move them around like franchises. That's the scary part. That's the part that they're not really talking about. They never said sustainability is going to be within where the club is now. They can potentially move these clubs in and around the country or in different parts of the world. That's scary. That's the part we have to have a look at. But for now, they're saying it's a breakaway Super League. That breakaway is actually breaking away from UEFA. It's not breaking away from the domestic league. So just remember that, people. It's not a breakaway from the Premier League, Serie A, La Liga. It's just, they're just looking away to maximize their revenue as much as they can. And this is what we have to look at. Now, if Arsenal decided, now, as greedy as I am, if Arsenal decided to try and buy as many players as possible, I'll be like, okay, that's my selfish way. We're all selfish in that. We are. Most football players now thinking, do you know what? My pinnacle was to play international football and to play in the Champions League. If the Champions League is no longer the Champions League, but I want to play in the Super League, what happens? What happens? The other scary part is then going to be, well, the agents. The parasites that they call them of the sports world. Not all agents, because there are some good agents. But let's say, I don't know the guy, Raiola, but I can imagine him now saying, well, United, now you're going to be part of the Super League. You can afford £1 million a week for Haaland if you want, and I want 40 million for that opportunity. Then what stops 3 years later than, Raiola doing what he does, kicks up a fuss. Let's say Haaland signs for United. Let's say for what? 120 million. He's on 800,000 a week. If they pay him £1 million a week, I mean, that is it. That is me going, now they're taking a piss. 800,000 a week, you sign a 4-year deal. Or say a 5-year, but they maybe do a 4-year deal. On the 3rd year, or 2nd to 3rd year, Raiola says, listen, we can make another jump here. If we go to Real Madrid, they're willing to pay the money, and now we can get you £1 million a week. I will still get my cut of another £40 million signing on fee. So he's made £80 million potentially in 2.5 years, and then Haaland's money goes up and up. That's going to be the dangerous part of this, because agents and other clubs will know these Super League teams have super money. So that means when you want to buy my player, you have to pay added tax. The players then come on board and say, yeah, I want to join you, but I want added tax on top. Because if it's true that I'm not going to play international football, even though I wasn't an international in the first place, cool. But these players now are going to start thinking, I don't want to play in the Champions League. I want to play in the Super League. I want to play against the best of the best, because that's what I've been striving for. The Champions League will lose its cachet. And are you going to be upset for UEFA? No. Why? Because we've always moaned about UEFA. We've always moaned about FIFA. So the very problem you guys have been moaning about for years and years and years, something's been done about it, and now you don't like it because it's on the terms of something else. The Premier League's not perfect. FIFA's not perfect. UEFA's not perfect. La Liga's not perfect. There's a lot of things that's not perfect about football or sports or business. That's just the truth of it. But no doubt, we're still going to tune in and watch it once it's formed. Let's be real. We are going to tune in and watch it. You are going to still travel to the games and say, boy, you know what? I'm going to get a mini holiday out of this. I'm going to go to Barcelona. Because I know each year I can go to Spain. I can go to Germany. I can go to France. And I know I can see my team play the best of the best. Is my team going to be as competitive? Maybe, maybe not. There's only so many good players around there. But I will say this again. A lot of players who are at a mid-table club, who are really good, will now push for a move to that Super League team. It's going to happen. So the clubs involved now are thinking to ourselves, this is a good chance for us. We only have to compete against 11 other teams instead of loads of teams, even in our domestic league. We don't really want to spend the money, but now we've got the money to spend because this money is going to come in from this avenue and this avenue. So we can actually go now and buy, because I don't have to put my hands in my pocket to do so, to be competitive. Don't also think localized TV deals are going to be done and they're going to be formed. Don't think it's going to be on this very platform of what we're watching now, which is YouTube. Don't think it's not going to happen. It's going to happen. Whether we like it or not, it's going to happen. And I can see why the likes of Sky or BT Sports and companies like that are getting crazy, because they know they're going to be left behind. They know the bidding war is going to go even crazier than it was before. Don't think that these teams are not going to be playing just these European clubs at home. They're going to be playing them abroad. The 39th game in the Premier League was always be muted to be played in America. That idea has always been there. They've been feeding us this time and time again, and we just put it on the back shelf like it's never going to happen. And now it's happening. Now we're kicking off. No, what we should have been doing is listening to what they've been saying and thinking, okay, we see what you're trying to do, but how can we make this work for all? And how can we make this all win at the same time? UEFA are doomed. They know they're doomed. So whatever they drop today about the revamp of the Champions League, no one's really going to be thinking, that sounds good. But if there's no Arsenal, Spurs, forget Spurs, but I've got to say them. Arsenal, Spurs, United, City, Chelsea, Liverpool. That's on the Premier League. Then we take AC Milan, Juventus, Inter, and one more team. Then we take Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, and Real Madrid, and maybe one more. No one from Germany has committed. No one from France has committed. They've got already the powerhouses of the Champions League. UEFA know this. FIFA know this. Why the Premier League is going up in arms, I don't know. But once they get that bag and they broker that deal, trust me, it'll be pushed aside and be pushed up. Be ready for this, people. Again, I'm not saying this is good. I'm not saying this is bad. I'm saying it's in the middle. I'm on the fence right now because I want to see where this could actually go. I really do. But UEFA's had a stronghold on all these clubs for years, and I think they actually dropped the financial fair play because they knew this was going to come. They knew it was going to come, whether it was going to be now or next season. And I think if UEFA didn't plan on announcing right today about the revamp of the Champions League, this news would have come out at the end of this season and not now. But sometimes you've got to do a power play. Sometimes you've got to drop a bit of news just to throw the spanners in the works. Okay? Again, if you switch off halfway through or you're still with me now, thank you so much. Because now you can see my rational thinking about this. And the reason why I didn't do the video last night, like everyone else has done, I wanted time to think about this. I really did. I had a good sleep. I've been to the gym already. I thought about it even more. I've read more about it. And I wanted to make sure I got my facts right. The clubs will still play in their domestic league. They're just going to have to figure out the logistics about this. That's what it's going to be. You moaned about, again, a quick recap. You moaned about international football was boring and dead. And now the fact that you're saying, well, the players may not play for their international team again, who cares? You guys didn't care about it. So why are you caring now? You moaned that, oh man, I can't wait for domestic football or European football or the Champions League to come back. You're going to get that every week. And then you're still going to get the big clubs playing against each other every week, because that's what you've been moaning about and talking about. And now they're fixing it. And now you don't like it because you're saying it's not competitive enough because you can't get relegated. They don't care. They just want the money. They want the money. No different than the Premier League. No different than UEFA. UEFA pulls in billions a year from revenue of the Champions League. These guys see the bigger picture. Other corporations are seeing the bigger picture. And they're saying, if you guys are in there year in, year out, we're going to give you X amount. Who the hell would not do that? We may not like the idea, but if you own that club, I'm telling you right now, if I own that club, you may say, well, this is why I'm not going to subscribe to you, Ty. Maybe I would say, do you know what? Damn, you're going to give me what, a year? And all I've got to do is just compete in it? I mean, I have to win it, and I'm not going to get relegated, and I'm still going to get X amount of money? Damn, sign me up right now, because I'm telling you right now, people, if you open a business today and someone said, I want to guarantee you X amount of money every year, you'll bloody sign up to it, and you know you would. So let's not get too emotional about it, but let's look at the logic and think, okay, how can this be good? But I can also see the bad side, because other teams will not be able to compete financially. But that's always been business, hasn't it? That is just the truth of it. That's always been business. It's how you succeed, it's how you win, and you've got to find a way to win. Now, no doubt, unfortunately, the other teams and clubs around the world, or in Europe, should I say, will be affected by this. And that's the sad part, actually. That part is sad. But it's always been the survival of the fittest. It always has been. No different to Sky, no different to BT Sports, ESPN, Fox Sports. We can go on and on and on. And it's always been the same. It always has. And that's how businesses get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's how can we win? What do we have to do? How do we break away to keep on winning, to keep on innovating? And UEFA could lose out big. I'm telling you right now, it's not the end of the Premier League or any other domestic league. It's just the end of UEFA. And that's what you guys are actually fighting about. The end of UEFA. Now, if it's a closed shop and they haven't really devised too much about this, if you Google European Super League, there's no website, there's no governing body as of yet. It's just talking about founding members. It's just talking about the start, talking about the commitment to join. But they've never said they're leaving the domestic league. Read it. And once you've read it, come back. Or just leave some comments now. If I'm wrong, people. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm indifferent, I'm indifferent. But grab the emotions for one moment and think about what I just said. They're not leaving the domestic league. They never said they're not going to play in domestic cups. They're saying they're having a breakaway Super League. That really and truly, what they're saying is we're just breaking away from UEFA. We're breaking away from the UEFA rules. And we're going to make a shed load of money by doing it. And it's just us and it's just us only. Hey, here's what it is. Welcome to the Super League. I'm Ty Knight for TK24 Sports. Thank you for watching. If you're new to the show, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on that notification so you do not miss the show every time we upload. We're very real people about this. I hope you made it to the end. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.